Good afternoon. We're here at Business Bites at the Cornwall Studios. We're here today joined by the wonderful Mary Wardell. Lovely to have you with us today.
Thank you, Jay.
Good.
Yep, good to be here.
Wonderful. So we've had such an amazing morning. We've had a workshop this morning with some fantastic business owners, and we've been talking about personal branding, communication, and personal awareness. And I was just speaking to Mary and asking her, what brought you here? Mary, what made you think I need to book on to Business Bites?
I think it was the fact that I've got a new business. I'm starting again, and I want to get very clear on who I am, what service I offer, how I can help other people out there in the professional world. And they won't know about that unless I can communicate that to them clearly. So I can fulfill their need, whatever it is.
Fantastic. And how has the morning been? Have you enjoyed the morning?
Very much so. Yes, it's been a good revision exercise for me in some of the topics and things that I looked at many years ago in my previous career. I was a professional homeopath for many years, worked in the UK and most of my years overseas.
Wow.
So many of those techniques and skills I'd put to sleep because I hadn't needed to use them so much. But now I do. I will need again because I'm needing to build relationships with people and get under their skin a bit and find out what their needs are and how best to communicate with them so that they can reveal their needs and themselves to me.
Fantastic. So you're helping them reveal themselves.
Yes.
Whilst also revealing yourself so that they can lean in to work with you.
Yes. Yeah. We need to have that that resonance of communication. Otherwise, as we were talking this morning, things don't flow so well. You can be disconnected from someone but don't quite know why. But if you're using the right techniques and understanding their behaviours, you can actually communicate more effectively with them and they feel more comfortable and then things start to flow.
Building that rapport piece, building that
Very
connection.
so, yeah.
And we said this morning, sometimes it's like you've just met someone and you've known them forever, or you feel really comfortable, you feel really heard and really seen.
Yes.
And this morning we've been exploring ways of doing that and learning those techniques. So I'm intrigued, as I'm sure our viewers are. What is it that you do, Mary? And what is it that you've shifted into? So you've said it's new, you're moving into something quite new for you. What? Tell us.
Well, I have a background in public relations and marketing anyway, but I realised looking back that most of my life has been about communication and particularly that side of it, of writing. So I have used writing as that medium for many years, although I've done lecturing and the rest of it. But now that I'm launching my business as a freelance writer, so I use that generic term because within that I offer copywriting, content writing. I'm also a freelance journalist, so I enjoy interviewing people. I'm on the sniff for a story or if somebody wants their story told. And I have, that background of public relations, so I can help with media exposure, perhaps pitching to the media their news story, helping them get exposure. So writing in the biggest sense for them, wherever it is, whether it's, what I could say, straightforward copywriting, content writing, articles, features, case histories, down to the actual sales, strap lines, leaflets, advertorials.
Gosh.
Email marketing. It's a very broad brush.
Yeah.
I suppose I've garnered that from the different bits in my career.
Wow.
So. But writing basically is my passion.
And I find, I don't know if you find, but I find through networking and meeting lots of different businesses, and I find networking so powerful to meet so many different people from so many different backgrounds. It's quite often people are very passionate about what they do, but the translation from I'm really passionate about what I do because of doing this, this and this, but actually translating it over to clients or potential clients or social media, for instance, there's a lot of people that really struggle with that.
Yeah.
And I found, speaking to some individuals, that they often have this sense of, I should know how to write. I went to school, I should know how to do these things. But it's a bit of an art, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's most people can write and write reasonable levels of English, but that is not the point, particularly of copywriting. That's not the point. Copywriting is a whole specific set in itself, and with that you are out to sell the product, service, idea, concept, and from learning how to do this, you will then reach your target audience and they'll go, oh yes, I need that. That's exactly the problem I need solved. I want to call them because they know, they've read something, they know exactly my pain point. Copywriting is very specific. So each of these different specialisms, like, a copywriter wouldn't necessarily understand how to write a good freelance journalistic piece because you've got different brackets within that. So that's why I think I'm happy that I've got these different wings to my skill set, if you like, my box, as I call it. I pull out this one and that one, depending on what the need is, because it's very different. Also, if you're writing a feature piece or you're doing something more academic, which might be a white paper, it's different again, to writing an advertorial, which is a cross between an advert with images, a long form advert with images. It's the way that you use words in order to influence, persuade, sell.
Help people lean in.
Yeah.
Help people lean in
and
to
whatever the task is. It's all different. So.
Yeah. And I think you've got such a small amount of time, haven't you? So I'm assuming then there is space for a long, quite a long article, but there's also space for, as you were saying about the strapline, something quite quick and succinct that the individual, yes, I understand them, or yes, I need that, or yeah, you're speaking. I mean, I've often read things and thought, wow, you're speaking to me.
There you go. That's it.
That feels like a puzzle piece just slots in.
That's it.
The next step for me is leaning in. How can I, with a good call to action, then I'm in.
Exactly.
Like I'm having that conversation.
That's it. Job done. Done. Public relations is different. Again, you're writing to build relationships, for people to trust the brand, because you continually present the brand in a certain way into the public domain. They read about it again and again and again in different articles, pieces, whatever it is. And you forge a relationship then with your external person who will then actually want to look into the brand further. But copywriting is exactly that. It's actually reaching someone's consciousness very quickly with a very specific message which answers their problem. And in today's society, where people have got the attention span of a flea, you've got to do it quick, very quick. You've got to get them quick, hook them in quickly, and then they'll think, oh, that's interesting, I'll read down a bit more. Also, people skim read, so there's a way that you have to write and present it on the page. It's different for web, is it different for print? So most people can write, but that's the problem with a lot of companies, that they think they can do it themselves and then wonder why it doesn't quite get traction, they don't get the results. It's because you can write English, but you can't write as a copywriter does, or a content writer.
And it sounds to me that the return on investment there, and when I say investment, I don't just mean financial investment, the return on time spent to sit still, recognize the gap. Yes, I can write. Yes, I know what I want to do. Yes, I know that I'm passionate. But actually the gap is getting it across to my clients and getting it across to an audience. So the return on investment I'm sensing there is powerful. To stop, speak with somebody such as yourself, unravel it, understand the why, and then put it in your capable hands to then create that art piece to speak to the people that we're looking to speak with.
That's
sounds
exactly
like a great return on investment.
That's right, because people have often got the ideas and they might they'll give me something and say, well, can you do something with this? I know what I want to say, but I don't know how to say it. So I will look at what they've written and so often I need to question them further, really drill down into what are they trying to say, or what do they want from this? And then I'll go away and write it, and they'll go, oh, that's exactly what I wanted to say, but I didn't know how to say it. So,
And that must be really refreshing for you to, wow, and help that person deliver that passion and grow their business, but also for the person to be like, goodness me, it's that simple, because we all have our strengths, and we really need to lean into other strengths, don't we? So how are you finding it in business? How are you finding the transition that you've gone through?
I'm loving it, because now I am my own boss. Having had a professional practice years ago, I did that for many years. But now, I was in the corporate world also for many years. Now I'm back out of that. I've left that behind. It's actually good, because I can order my day as I wish, because it's what I do is creative. If I want to write at 7:00 in the morning, I can. If I need to stop at 4 PM because I'm done, I can. So there's having that freedom to move with my own creative flow, if you like. I get ideas and think, must write that down. That might be 6:00 at night when I'm finished, but I just think, mustn't forget this, write it down. So it's good. Obviously it has its downside, in as much as, the only person that's going to make this happen is me.
Mm-hmm.
So, I've got to get off my ass and make it happen, because
Yeah.
there are no free lunches out there.
Yeah.
So,
and I think as well, coming to a day like we've had today, and around the room from many, was that it was quite powerful to sit with a room of other business owners and listen to what they're going through, the wins they've had, the challenges they've had. And that alone is quite a nice, oh, me too. Or,
yeah, it's
well,
actually,
it's not just me.
That's
There's
right. It's
others.
refreshing, because it is a very lonely, it can be very lonely, particularly in the profession I do. It's very easy to become the mad writer sitting in my garret, not seeing anybody day in, day out. And this happened to me when I first came here. I haven't been in Cornwall very long, but I realised that I hadn't spoken to anybody except my 2 parrots for 6 days.
Wow.
No one.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have any phone calls that week.
Yeah.
I had no Zoom meetings that week. And I thought, if I don't do something about this is before I met your partnerships, I will go very slightly and quietly insane.
Yeah.
So it's important that I get that balance, because equally I do enjoy being on my own, because I love to write. Once I'm writing, I don't like to be disturbed.
So create that space around you,
Yeah.
but also have the awareness of the need of being around others, to meet others, to hear from others.
Absolutely.
And for them to hear and meet you, and find out what you do and how you do. And because I think the other side of it is, as a business owner, we assume we should be doing everything, wearing all the hats. And I think there's even business owners out there that don't actually recognise the power of what you've just shared around the copywriting and the sales piece, and moving the words into such a way that can be translated and can be heard.
That's right.
I think there's an assumption of, I'm just going to write some information, this is what I want to do, and it's out there. But how damaging could that be to somebody's passion and purpose when it's not being heard? So wonderful. How can people work with you? What sort of ways do you work with? Do you do audits on websites, or do you take do you meet with people and have an understanding about what they're looking to achieve and then help them place that? What's the best way?
Well, I'm active on LinkedIn, so people can obviously see, they can see what I've written, because I've got articles on my LinkedIn.
Oh, fantastic.
I try and post as often as I can. And also I've written some articles so people can get an idea of the sort of the different kind of styles. I can write according to a style that's needed, but they can find me. All my details are on there. How else can they find me? Well, through your partnerships, of course.
Networking
events,
yeah.
And through other platforms. I'm on Twitter as well. I don't have a Facebook page at the moment I have a private one, but I haven't got one for my business, because I think at the moment I'm trying to keep it simple.
Yeah.
Otherwise, too much energy goes into feeding social media platforms, which have their place, they're very important, and there's not enough time for me focusing on what I need to be doing.
Yeah. Good. So LinkedIn then. And what's the company name?
Greywing Creations.
Lovely. So Greywing Creations.
Greywing Creations. It's a hat tip to the 2 people I share my life with, who are 2 very beautiful, very intelligent African grey parrots.
Wow. So Greywing Creations with Mary Wardell. How fascinating. And I'm already sensing that we could talk lots more. There's already lots and lots there that we could talk about. And I'm sure we'll do that on another occasion, Mary. But I think I've just learned quite a bit of the power behind words, and the power of working with somebody that has a toolbox full of lots of different boxes that you can lean into. And it sounds like Mary will pull out the exact one that's needed at that time. I think it's also really powerful that you can create that, but you can also then within the public relations support a journey that the individual may also want to go on without doing that with somebody else and breaking that rapport.
Yeah, that's right.
Which I think is really powerful. So thank you so much for being here today and joining us on Business Bites. And I look forward to seeing you more around the YP networking and other networking.
You will.
Thank you. And of course, working with you in the future as well.
Great. Thank you very much, Jay. It's been fantastic. Thank you.
You're welcome.